Okay, so video number 4 in the No Frills series, I guess, in sequence. This one is all about what we call a gate. And so, like with the other 3 videos previous to this one, I've left the opening similar in regards to the fact that it's a trapline opening. I won't go into it on this one because I keep touching on that on all the other previous videos. So if you want to know what the trapline's all about, I recommend that you have a look at the first video because that's all about a trapline opening, recommended opening. So it's a very, very good opening to at least learn and, if nothing else, play off this until you develop your own, I guess. But look, I've been using this one for years. I put a lot of work into this one. It's not completely fail-proof, but it is a good opening. And of course, once you get past your opening, you're in your mid-game, and then anything can happen. So this video is all about what we call a gate. So I'm going to show you a situation that a gate can be really beneficial in. So what a gate's all about is, again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, Four Kings is really about opportunity, setting yourself up into a position where if something occurs, you're in a good position to take advantage of that. So if you're going to park something somewhere, you might as well park it in an opportune position. So in this case, and it's kind of a further development on the opening, I guess, I'm going to park this queen here. And it doesn't have to be a queen, but this pawn here is the gate. And I'll show you why in a minute. But what I'm also going to do is, let's just say I made my way up to this position with a rook. So I could put this other queen here, and quite often I do. I have a queen and a queen. But let's just say it's a rook this time, just to demonstrate that it doesn't have to be a queen. So what a gate's all about is a scenario like this. So it's greens, well, it's the black army, black and green. Let's move. So let's say if they move this green knight and they go on a double hop, and they put it into this position. What's occurred there is an opportunity to execute on the gate. Well, let's finish off here. That's one move from a knight, and let's say this one, or this one here even, goes boom and boom. So that's their 2 moves. Now it's my turn. So I've got choices here because I've got opportunities set up on both gates. This highlights, I guess, the reason we have different colours on your 2 regiments. One's yellow in my case and one's white. It's primarily, one of the main things is to understand which way the pawn's going. So these yellow pawns obviously tracking this way, and these white pawns are tracking this way. So what I've got going on here is I've got a queen that's sitting behind this pawn, and this knight has just landed on that same file. So what I can do with my 2 moves is I can move the pawn forward 1, 2 or 3 squares, but that opens what we call the gate, and then I can come in and I can take that knight. So that's a gate on that side. I'll put that back. And then a similar situation here. This knight has jumped onto this file, and again, this pawn is tracking this way, so I can just open that gate. And this time around, I can take it with a rook, which, to be honest, in this scenario would probably be the better situation because a rook is a lower value than a queen, and it doesn't matter which one I take, whether I take, just put this point back, whether I take this knight with this queen, this knight here is protecting that knight, so I'll lose my queen as a result of it, so that's probably a bad exchange, whereas if I use this rook to take this knight, yep, this knight is also protecting that one, so I'll lose my rook because it takes me 2 moves to open the gate and hit. But that's a good exchange because 4 kings, 1 war, the knights get a range of a double hop, so their value is valued second to the queen. They're valued at 7 points, whereas a rook's valued at 4. So again, that's the type of exchange you want to do. You want to continue to exchange up. And if you keep doing that throughout the game, you're going to end up in a situation where you have a way more versatile army than what your opponent does. So that's how a gate works. It's basically moving a piece out of the way and exposing an attack and striking. I could set another gate up here, for example, behind a bishop. So I could have a rook sitting here, I've got a gate scenario there. So if anything like this occurs, say the knight in this case jumps there, same deal. I can just simply move that bishop out the way, open the gate, and then I come and I can take the knight. So they're really cool moves. What I like about this scenario is if you're going to park your queen, rather than having it sitting on the back line, you might as well have it sitting there, because what it's got is it's kind of got a diagonal gate going on. We call it a hidden attack, where I can, if anything lands on this file, so let's say this occurred, back here, I can simply move that knight out the way. Sorry, not knight. I can move that pawn out the way, and then I can come in and take that knight with my queen. Again, in this case, it's protected, so I don't know if I'd actually do that in this particular scenario. I wouldn't exchange a queen for a knight, but the great thing about having a queen here is it's actually controlling this diagonal, and it's also controlling this by way of a gate. So it's far more useful sitting there than sitting on the back line. One thing I'll get you guys to look out for, though, if you're going to start using the gate, especially if you're going to put a queen here, is you're actually opening yourself up for a potential 3-2, and how that will occur, and it's what sort of intermediate to advanced players will look for if this situation occurs. If you just leave that king there, what you'll find is an opponent will be trying to get a knight onto this square here, and then what that's doing is obviously it's threatening the queen, but I can't actually move that queen. It won't let me move that queen, because as soon as I move that queen, it'll let me in this program, because I've got it on a setting where it doesn't officiate official rules. It lets me move anywhere I want. So let me just move that out the way for a second. As you can see, that opens up a check, because that is a double hop transit square, what we call a transit square. And you can never, ever put your king in check. Just like in traditional chess, you cannot go through check, you can't castle through check, you can't put yourself in check. Under no circumstances can you expose your king to check. So basically that is called a pin. So that knight's jumped in and it's pinned that queen, because I can't move that queen away from the threat of the knight until I get the king out of the way. Otherwise I'm going to put it in check. So it's done that with one move. Then all it would have to do, for example, is come down here and go boom, put its bishop on my knight, for example, and now that's created a 3-2 against me. I've got two choices. I've got to either save my knight or save my queen. If I want to save my queen, I've got to move the king out of the way first, then move my queen. That's fine. Or I've got to leave my queen there and move my knight out the way. So just be careful with this square here. If you do that, basically, if you're going to utilize this gate with a queen there on your next turn, or at some point very, very soon after you've done that, a simple way is just to move your king across one, and then that will stop that scenario happening, because there's no transit square there. So I hope that makes sense. Really, really cool maneuver, a gate. It catches a lot of people out, because they just don't sort of see it sitting behind there, and you've got a lot going on. If you've got a queen behind this gate, and maybe a queen behind this gate, and in this case I've got a rook here behind this gate, so I'm controlling a lot of the board from behind my front line. And that's the great thing about four kings. You've got 2 moves per turn, so you can always move something out the way and then strike. So you don't have to be right out on the front line to be controlling those files, ranks, or diagonals. You can be doing that from behind your front line. And the more of the board you control, obviously, the less opportunity that your opponent's got to land on safe squares, and the more they've got to think, and the more chances that they're going to make a mistake. So that's the gate. I'm going to leave it at that. Hope you enjoy that one. Again, same deal, guys. If you do enjoy it, please give us a thumbs up. Really, really do appreciate it, and lets me know that you are also appreciating the videos. And certainly, if you haven't done already, subscribe to the channel. These videos are just going to keep coming. I think they're a great series. They're very quick to put out. Super simple. No flair around the editing. It's just basic strategy. But if you get familiar with all these videos in this series, start from the first one and work your way through, you're going to be armed with some really good maneuvers to use during a game. So that's it for now, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.